Hey, welcome to the program, everybody. It is hour 2 of the Rod Pedersen Show. If you've been sticking with us, thank you. It's been a rollicking good show. Just come on in, Abu. It's fine. We're not doing anything but a live show here. Oh,
You don't even need to make
that is the walk on.
You don't even.
That's the Abu walk on. We have to introduce Richie Hall to all these things here. It's episode number 188 of Canada's only morning sports talk show. We're very excited that as of April 8th, we're going on national television, the Game Plus network, over 1 million homes across Canada, plus Cablevision in the USA. Richie's family in San Antonio can watch. Is your family still in San Antonio, Richie?
No, they're in Denver.
They moved on?
They're in Denver.
They've been in Denver for a while.
I was just been in San Antonio just to be born.
Oh, yeah.
Just to be born. But it's been my dad's been in Denver since 74.
Isn't it funny how you on a guy's Wikipedia or something, it says where you're born, and then that just sticks with you forever?
Yeah.
Because you consider Denver your hometown then.
Denver's home. Yes,
yeah.
Yes.
We got Grey Cup champion Richie Hall here, and I'm losing fingers how many Grey Cups this guy's won. 89, 07, 13, 19. So that's 4?
Yes.
That's pretty good, man.
I'm blessed.
You're blessed for a lot of reasons. Yeah. And an author, too, by the way. But a couple things we want to mention. We've got another new sponsor today. Thank you. Red Bull Canada's jumped on board. They're advertising their new Peach Edition. Red Bull gives you wings, as you know, Abu. And our social media advisor, Todd Dacu, writes in and he says, speaking of Red Bull, shout out to Regina's Mark McMorris, who became the most decorated winter sports athlete in X Games history over the weekend. And I know it's a really big thing. So congratulations to Mark McMorris for doing that, and congrats to Red Bull for sponsoring him. So we're diving into the football talk. And these two won a Grey Cup together in 07, of course, with the Saskatchewan Roughriders. How many people, Richie, have asked you where this Grey Cup rates of the 4?
Quite a few.
I bet.
Quite a few. And my best one, my favorite one is 89.
Really?
89, because I don't think anything ever replaces it being a player. You know, and that was my first one. And being a player, being a coach is special, but being a player, because you're actually involved in the game.
Wow.
So it's that's one that always resonates with me. And when I look at the rings, I hadn't saw the Winnipeg ring yet, but when I look at the rings, 89 just kind of stands out, even though it's not the biggest ring, but it has probably the most sentimental values to me.
That ring was a trendsetter, a trailblazer, because that actually started the big ring. It's still pretty big. Yeah. Would you have guessed that 89 would be?
Well, I
wouldn't have.
Well, now that that does make a lot of sense, but. I know, I don't. Coaches are absolutely part of the team, but I know what you mean, right?
You're involved.
But I would always answer which kid do you like the most. If you would tell me which one of your kids you like the most, I'll tell you which. I only have one Grey Cup ring, but which team do you like more, the Riders or the Bombers? Well, the Bombers gave me my start. The Riders gave me my ring. One kid was born in Winnipeg. One was in Regina,
And you also have more Grey Cup rings than Muhammad Ali,
right? For sure.
There's a story behind it.
But I thought you were going to go. Well, everyone likes their firstborn the best, right? Everyone knows that. Just you don't say it,
right?
What? No, what?
If I had natural kids,
you just don't say it. No, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, but the reason, because Richie came in here like 20 minutes ago, and I asked him in the break about breaking down after the 2019 Grey Cup, because I guess was I at home watching it? I think it was at Ballers. I think we were having a Grey Cup party. Doesn't matter. You broke down coming out of the box onto the field, and I asked if you'd ever broken down at a game after a Grey Cup win. Different reasons, but you said you had?
I might have, I might have shedded some tears after the 89 one.
Right.
Just because it was the first one, and, you kind of go through your career, and it was my 7th year, and you don't know how many more opportunities that you're going to have to be there. And that was the first time I ever been to the Grey Cup. So it took 7 years, and I probably didn't have another 7 years left in me in playing. So there might have been a little tear shed, but I know there was a big smile.
Mathematically, you didn't have 7 years of playing it left after that.
No.
So you were right.
I was lucky to have 7.
Yeah. Oh, sure. Yeah. Well, so take us, please, inside Winnipeg winning this championship. I mean, he played there for a while, played in a Grey Cup, 01 and lost it. What was the feeling like, the emotion to end the drought?
Well, I don't think so much we thought of it as a drought. The only time that we heard about it from a drought was from afar because, as far as myself, I wasn't there for 29 years, so I wasn't really aware of it until people brought it up or the media brought it up. But, it was just one of those things where we wanted to go farther than we did the year before, and we lost the Western Finals to Calgary the year before. We felt we had an opportunity to win, and just a matter of how can we gain that experience to give us over the hump. And, at times during the season, we started off fast. You kind of had that rocky road in the middle, but we finished strong. And, we got on a roll there and we played very well, so we were a very confident team. But at the same time, I think in order to win championships, there's got to be a little bit of luck that comes involved with it. The gods at times, the ball bounces here, bounces there, your way. And we were able to capitalize and be victorious.
But here you go, Abu. Bomber Mondays rides again. It always just ends up happening.
That's the way it goes. Yeah.
Bomber Mondays. He's nicknamed these shows.
That's what we do.
Oh, okay.
But your boy Westwood always has said on the Winnipeg radio to the fans, don't blame these guys, these 44, for the drought. And you're explaining why. But I'm glad you explained it because the fans don't see it that way.
The Winnipeg media is harsh, and I mean, I think I still have a couple of friends over there, but they're harsh. They have a story. Winnipeg's a very blue collar town, and it's like the media gets up these stories and they write the stories and then they show up to practice for your soundbite to fit their stories. They're tenacious. They get after you. It's like, I imagine it'd be like playing for the Leafs in Toronto. Like they get there and they just want something to grab onto. Mm-hmm. It's a tough place. It's a tough place to play, and I'm not. You still got to earn a living there, so I won't ask for your comments about it.
No, you can, because I don't read a paper. I don't watch the news.
You have to.
So it doesn't. I mean, that's just. I don't care, and it's not a negative thing. It's just, it kind of goes up and down. It's kind of like a roller coaster. I just go out there and do my job, and the media or fans or people are always gonna say whatever they want to say, and that's fine. They have their own opinion, but my job is to go out there and do the job the best way I can. And some people are gonna like it, some people aren't gonna like it. There's nothing I can do about that.
Yeah, but Richie, that might have, aside from your success, that might have explained a little bit of your longevity. That you don't get in these wars with the media because you worked with a lot of coaches that read every word and listen to every word, and it affects them. Like this probably benefited you that you've stayed away from all that.
Well, probably, but I think it's just I'm not getting philosophical, but your whole attitude regarding how you approach to life. Mm-hmm. Do you allow other people to control your emotions going up and down, or do you go out there and you try to control your own, and worry about things that I have control over, and like I said, I don't care who you are. As great as Michael Jordan was as a basketball player, there's a lot of people that didn't like him. So you can't please everybody. But you got to go out there and you try to please the people that affect you the most, and that's your family and your close friends, that inner circle. And to me, that's what allowed me to keep my sanity, because like you said, it's up and down. They're going to love you if you win, and if you don't win, they're going to hate you. So
that's not personal.
You can't win it.
They're just not going to tell you that they love you when you win. But you hear, that's Winnipeg. I had to learn that don't listen to the media, don't even read it, don't even be there, because that experiment of the two plants, one that's yelled at all day and one that's talked love to all day, the one that one wilts and one's going to grow.
And this is what I can truly say this in all my years, going into my 36th year in the CFL. For the most part, regardless of who it was, the media or whatever, they've always been positive towards myself. Overall. They might have, I've played bad games and called bad games or whatever and stuff like that. But, there's things that I've seen or heard that media has done over my 36 years in the CFL. But for the most part, when I look at it overall, they've been
I
very
agree.
respectful.
They
for
love
us,
you. They like me, and they still write that stuff about us. Can you believe what?
Yeah.
That's true.
We got to keep paying them.
That's their job. I mean, their job to
they gotta
sell
do their
papers and
job.
stuff and
Yeah.
get people interested in the team. And in Winnipeg, they got a great fan base. I mean, Saskatchewan's
and they do a good job. You know,
do a
I mean,
great job, yeah.
that's what their job
Yeah.
is. You know, and my whole thing is this: if you go out there and you play well, then they're going to write good things. If you don't play well, then you got to expect.
But you're not reading it anyways.
It doesn't matter what
You're not reading it
yeah.
anyways.
No, I mean, they're gonna,
So
no, I
that's the difference.
I had to learn it the
but the
hard
thing
way
is, this
there,
is
yeah.
the big fight that I got in with Daryl Sutter at a dinner we did in Paradise Hills because he hates all the media. And I told him in front of a room of 800 people, I said, there's jerks in the media, there's jerks in coaching. Dale, you can't hate everybody, but whatever. That's his take on the
yeah?
situation. By the way, questions. This is the fun part, Richie, of this show. People can write in with their questions. And Mike Lennox writes in and he says, a question for Mr. Hall. What has changed the most in defensive coverages the most since you started coaching?
Oh gosh, I would probably say offenses, because they so much spread offenses and various teams run a lot of empty, they probably make you cover the whole field. You know, and instead of having because defensively we're always trying to cheat and trying to shrink the field.
I was gonna ask you.
And they're always trying to gain, make it wider and bigger. You know, especially most teams are, 5 receivers versus the old traditional. When I came in the league, it was 4 receivers. Sometimes a tight end. But that's probably the biggest thing is that they're forcing you to cover the whole field.
Well, early in my career, I mean, you were DC here, and it was crazy. You're using Jackie Mitchell, using a DB as sign linebacker. A linebackers have no necks and look like me, or look like that. And you're using a DB at center. Were you the first one to use it there, or where did you get that idea
No,
from?
I don't think I was the first one. But Calgary had a Daryl Hall.
Yeah,
he was a size player, but really a DB.
He knocked me out in my first game.
just because of the game has changed. What we try to do is put more speed on the field. And take speed over size and athleticism. And I know we weren't the first, but if you can find those tweener players, I think it's very advantageous. No different than when you look at offensively now. They have one of their slot receivers. He's kind of like a fullback, as far as how they utilize him, But at the same time, you can put him out in space, and he's not a clunker, but he can take you vertically, So the game has changed again. It's forcing you to cover more of the field.
Yeah, and then you put a fullback in the game. Now you're isolating that little linebacker, so he better be.
Yeah, you got. I think in order to play within the box, you just got to be tough.
You need.
got to be tough, and you got to be able to stick your nose in there. And the players, there's not a lot of, they're not as little as me nowadays. They're a lot bigger. Like you say, Jackie Mitchell. When you get a, we call him our dime position. That guy's usually right around from 190 to 200, 205.
And he looks the same as all the other DBs. So as an offensive lineman, trying to figure out who you got to block and who's not blocking, I mean, Jackie had a lot to do with the Reaper getting 16 tackles or something in that game.
Oh,
we didn't know where to go.
Well, yes, but you guys also rushed for about 200 yards against us.
Well, that was Charlie.
So, I mean, I'm not a stats person, but when you start thinking of stats, there was a lot of tackles, but a lot of tackles downfield because you guys kicked our butt at the point of attack.
Hey, look, I got to take a break. We've got a lot of questions that have come in on the Prairie Mobile text line. 306-840-8777 is the number to get us at. 306-840-8777 for Prairie Mobile, your authorized SaskTel mobility dealer. And we've got 2 concurrent poll questions running today for Capital Auto Mall Universal Collision Center. 1, will Team Dunstone win a Brier in the future? 84% of you saying yes, they will, and I would agree with that, representing Saskatchewan. And also, did you enjoy the female play-by-play of the Flames Golden Knights game? 68% of you saying yes, you did. You got 24 hours to vote on that. But we'll get to more questions with Coach Hall when we return, plus a sports update. It is the Rod Pedersen Show on Facebook Live, and listen live at rodpedersen.com.
You're watching Rod Pedersen On Demand. For more of The Rod Pedersen Show, visit rodpedersen.com or follow Rod Pedersen on social media.